And now we join Granada for today's news.
The driver and guard of the freight train both escaped serious injury. The driver ran to a nearby signal box to raise the alarm, and services on the Weymouth to Waterloo line were halted. A full emergency plan to deal with rail crashes was put into operation by Dorset's fire and ambulance services. Almost 30 firemen were sent to the scene, along with ambulance crews and police officers. Senior British Rail managers have now begun an investigation into this afternoon's crash.
An investigation is underway to establish the full facts.
How fast was the driver of the locomotive going, do you assume, along this track?
That I don't know at this stage.
But obviously he was going at some speed in order to have had such a shunt.
The early indications are that he was, but that isn't necessarily to say that the driver of that locomotive was in the blame.
But there were signals, and as far as you know, the signals were working.
Yes, the signal, as far as I'm aware, that the signals were working.
An absolute tragedy, because this is, of course, the third rail crash that we've had in a short space of time on the same railway line. We must look at what is now happening and why this is happening on this particular line.
Ian Bruce, South Dorset MP. And British Rail tell us that the line will be closed until about 9 o'clock this evening. A bus service is in operation between Wareham and Poole, and it's hoped that train services will be back to normal in time for tomorrow's rush hour.
BR have begun an inquiry into what happened, and there are two likely answers. The driver may simply have been going too fast when he entered the siding. More seriously, though, his train may have been wrongly routed into the siding when it should have stayed on the main line. If that was the case, there are serious implications. Last night, no one was hurt. But if a passenger train, rather than a goods train, had been wrongly sent into the sidings, the results could have been disastrous.